Hey everyone, in this video we're going to learn about the try except block in Python. What is the purpose of the try except block in Python? The purpose of the try except block is to handle errors gracefully. I wanted to highlight the importance of the else block here. So the else block only runs if no exceptions or errors occur. Now let's talk about the syntax. So try, this is how you define the try block, colon, and of course the code is indented. So this is the code that might raise an exception or error. And you can also specify the except. So here, exception type. So there are built-in exception types in Python. We're gonna look at built-in exceptions or exceptions that are associated with the library, for example, NetmikoTimeoutException. So here, so it handles specific exceptions, and the else block executes if no exceptions occur. And finally, it runs either the try or except block run or not. So in this example, we're going to use finally to ensure that all the connections are disconnected. Okay, let's look at an example. So here we are just simulating to connect to a network device and run a command. This is actually a router on the internet. This is the host name of the router. So let's discuss the code. So here we are importing the function ConnectHandler and these NetmikoTime built-in exceptions. So here we are using the try block. So try block, again, this is the code that might rise an error. So here we are defining a dictionary, and this is how we connect to the device. So, the device could be down, or the credentials are incorrect. So this try block might raise an error. And these are the NetmikoException or built-in exceptions. So NetmikoAuthenticationException, NetmikoTimeoutException, and this is how you would handle any other errors. So if the error is not one of these, this exception will catch the error, and it will say an expected error occurred, and it will display the actual error. And here, the else block, so this executes if no exceptions occur. So if the connection or try block is successful, we can then say that the connection, so we're printing connection successful, and we can run the command. So here, this is how we send the command, show version in this case, and we print the output in the console. And finally, again, this will run even if an error occurs or not. So here in this example, we are just going to disconnect the connection. So connection disconnect, and we're printing connection closed. And if there's no connection to close, we get this print message. Okay, let me go ahead and run this code and see what happens. Okay, so looks like the connection is successful. So we see that connection, this is the first line, so connection successful running a command. So that would be this line 37. So meaning the try block is successful, and we are printing this output. This line, we are printing the output of the show version. So that's why we see this output. And if we look at the last line, it says connection closed. So meaning this try block executed, and we see this print statement in the console. So here. Okay, so that was successful. Let's try to use a incorrect credential. See what happens. So it says authentication failed, check your credentials. No connection to close. So we got this print message because there is a authentication error. And then the finally block executed also, and we get this print message in the console. So connection to close. No connection to close. So that was a simulation of how we can encounter this authentication error. So let's try to rename the host name, run the code, see what happens. So in this case, unexpected error occurred. So meaning this except block executed, and we see this print statement, an unexpected error occurred, and we see the exact error message. Okay, so that was an example of a except block to catch all the other errors. Okay, let's try to issue an incorrect device type. Run the code, see what happens. Okay, so this except block executed, and it says an unexpected error occurred, and we see the exact error message. An unsupported device type, currently supported platforms are. So this is the list. So these are only the device types that we can use. Okay, so Again, the try block is the code that might raise an error or exception, and we can use the except block to handle specific exceptions or error. And else, this is the code that executes if no error occurs. And finally, will always run either you encounter an error or not. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover in this video. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.